Okay, I still seem to be setting some stuff up here. But if you're watching this as a VOD, hello, welcome. I decided to just spur of the moment, decided to go ahead and start redesigning Danganronpa 3 characters in my more simple style. Game Grumps haven't started playing it yet, but if I can get them redesigned before, it might save a little bit of time in the future. And I thought this might be a nice little chill stream that I could start and just see how it goes. It's been a while since I've streamed it all, and so I'm a little rusty. I don't even know if my levels are correct, so you're gonna have to let me know if my audio is coming through well, if the music's too loud or too quiet. But yeah, I'm pretty much gonna get started with I think I'll go in alphabetical order at first, and then if any characters jump out at anyone, or if anyone wants a specific character to be done next, I can move on. Hello, I can see you in the chat there. Thank you for dropping by. And yeah, I'm gonna get started with Angie from Danganronpa 3. Now, I myself haven't played Danganronpa 3. I did watch a friend of mine play it. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I did watch a friend of mine play it, so I have a loose understanding of what happens. But I'm going to try my best to avoid any spoilers, as I liked to proceed with when I was animating the second game. But I can slip up from time to time. So just keep that in mind. There might be some spoilers within this. I'm just trying to get my reference set up for now. And like I said, it has been quite a while since I've done this. So there might be some getting used to with this. For instance, I believe I used to start off by making a circle just to start their hands. Go down here, and I'm just going to use Hajime here as a reference. Why can't I see it? Ah, that's fine. And like I mentioned, this is going to be pretty chill, pretty laid back, so feel free to put this on in the background, or if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. I doubt they're gonna play Ultra Despair Girls, Nicole in the chat. It doesn't really seem like the kind of game that they'd be interested in playing. I have seen gameplay of it, and I know roughly what the story is, and it goes into some pretty dark places. It's also very different from the other Danganronpa games, so just in terms of like coherence and continuity, I don't think they'll be doing it, but I'm open to being surprised. So I think I usually would start off with the face, more specifically the eyes. He seems to have eyes that are kind of rounded but pinch off at the sides. Do you like any other visual novels besides Danganronpa? I don't know if I have much exposure to any other visual novels, if I'm being honest. Pretty much just what I've seen from Game Grumps. Doki Doki Literature Club is an interesting game overall. But yeah, in terms of what I play or what I what I partake in. It's not really a genre that I am well versed with. Trying to think of how I'm gonna approach this. So she's kind of got it's like thick at the corners here, and it tapers off on the side. So I'm trying to think of how to approach that. Um, I might go the route that I did with Nagito here, where I just kind of like I draw the lines thicker, but we'll see. And again, just like with Mikan, if you have seen any of my Danganronpa animations early on versus what they became, I actually had a different design for Mikan starting off. Let me just get out of here. So this one here used to be the original design for Mikan. She was in the first Danganronpa animation with any of the characters, and that was still when I was figuring out my style and how I wanted to proceed with it. So it's a little bit rougher compared to what it eventually became. I've heard that the original design was a bit cuter, and a lot of people liked it. But in terms of accuracy to the game, I do feel like the second design really does a better job at representing the character. So this might be the case with this. The real question is how much time I have to change these designs, because if they start playing the game tomorrow, I doubt I'm going to have all these characters finished by then anyways. So we'll just have to see. I do know who the main character is, so I might want to design them next. But we'll just start with Angie for now. And then, like I said, if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I'm just going to, I have my drawing tablet, and then I have the YouTube chat up on a different monitor, so I'm just going to be kind of like glancing back and forth. Welcome to the stream, Waffle Boy. Always a pleasure to have you. Oh man, this might end up taking longer than I expected. I am much rustier than I thought I was going to be. Danny asks, did you have a favorite V3 character? And who is your favorite Danganronpa 2 character, if I may ask? I don't really have an absolute favorite from Danganronpa 3. I didn't really resonate with the characters as much as I did with 1 and 2. I'd say, and I'm really bad with the names as well, as a friend of mine will attest, but the maid, I think Kurumi, she was pretty cool. I like Kibo. Kibo was fun. A friend of mine is very big into Gonta, so I enjoy whenever he was on screen. But from Danganronpa 2, I'd have to say my favorites were probably Akane and Chiaki. Just enjoyed those characters a lot. Got the feeling that Dan is not going to like Kokichi. By my memory, he doesn't really like Nagito. Yes, I have a feeling that there's probably going to be some very interesting character interactions when they play. If they end up playing. This could all be for naught, but I will still go ahead with this. Okay, I think I'm starting to find my groove with this. I'm still not sure how I'm going to address the eyelashes. I did sometimes do it, like with Akane and with Ibuki and such, but I don't know. I think they might be a little too irritating on Angie, just because it was always about efficiency with these, and having like lots of little strands will mean extra work. But I'll toss them on here and see how I feel. I think I'm going to move the reference a little bit closer just so I don't have to keep popping in and out like that. I don't like Angie. She was really annoying. I don't remember much about her. I believe she was an artist. I definitely remember her not being the most annoying character in that game, so for what it's worth, I don't think she's the most annoying. By the way, if it's unclear, I'm using Blender to do this. If you have any technical questions, feel free to ask them. I am by no means an expert, but I can answer them to the best of my ability. know what? I kind of like that with the eyelashes on the bottom but not the top. I'm gonna put that in, see how I feel down the line. But I like that. Okay. I think I'll do what I did for Fuyuhiko and for Teru Teru. I'll put in uh, circles for the cheeks that I will then, instead of filling in with a bucket tool, I'll actually change the color so there's no black outline. I don't do it in this like reference file that I have, but when I upload the video, I try to change it that way. Danny asks, is there a reason you work in Blender to do 2D art? Is it just a familiar program for you? It is kind of both that I've been using Blender for a long time now, and I'm very used to it. But I do enjoy using Grease Pencil as a system. If you're not familiar with the different ways that software can draw lines and shapes, on the one hand, you have raster or pixels, which is the standard for most photo manipulating software. Stuff like Photoshop, Clip Studio, they all use a raster canvas that you draw on with your pen tools, with all that stuff. And then on the other side, there's vector, which Blender's Grease Pencil is more closely tied with. So as opposed to pixels, where every grid on the screen is a different color, vectors utilize shapes. So that's why you can see me manipulating the shape of lines after I've already drawn them. It's because they're not splatted on any canvas. It's actually a shape in 3D space that I can manipulate. I can even bring it along an axis that the camera wouldn't even see. The disadvantage with this is vector art is typically not the greatest when it comes to rendering, and by that I mean like shading and shadows and all that stuff. You can pretty much just do a gradient, and that's it. But in terms of what I do, which is very flat and very simple, having the ability to move shapes and lines after the fact is not only extremely useful, it's pretty much the only way I can get what I animate done in that amount of time. So I have been using Blender for, oh geez, let me think. Actually, you know what? One of my videos is getting a lot of traction right now for whatever reason. It's the 3D Dan Gur title card that I animated a long time ago. I'm pretty sure that was my first ever project in 3D. I'm just looking it up. This is kind of a tangent, but I'm interested now that I've started thinking about it. That was June 16th of 2020. So I've been using Blender for about 2.5 years now. It wasn't where I learned 3D software. I learned how to use 3D software in 3ds Max, as well as Maya and ZBrush. But after I left school, I decided, because the licenses are very expensive, that I would learn how to use Blender, and I have not looked back since. Blender is a great tool. Okay, so her hair is going to be fairly simple. She's got the same kind of bangs that a lot of characters have, as well as these little, what do you call it? Like strands that come down. I'm just gonna find the right shape for that. Do I ever draw their ears? I do. I totally forgot that I drew their ears. Okie doke. And since it looks like there's quite a few more people in the stream than there was when I first started, hello, welcome. I'm drawing Danganronpa 3 characters in my simple style that I use for Game Grumps animations. I'm doing this not because Game Grumps have started playing V3 yet. It's more in anticipation of that. I just kind of had the instinct to be like, oh, I should get all these characters drawn before they start playing, and that way I can save even more time, be even more efficient if they start playing the game. So that's pretty much why I started doing this, and I thought I haven't streamed in a while. I'm a little rusty, so it might be a good opportunity to get better at it. And yeah, I'm drawing Angie right now just because I was going in alphabetical order. But if there is a character that you would like me to draw, please drop it in the chat and I will try and tackle them next. Okay, now if I'm being honest, I am kind of starting to see more recon peeking through than I would have hoped. Let me see, how did I did do something very similar for recon. Okay, well, I'm not going to stress too much about it right now. I'll just keep going, and if I have to change, then I will change gears. I'm going to fix her mouth a little bit, though. I think I was off with that. Did you watch the Danganronpa anime? I have not. I don't know if it's necessarily on my list. I do know that at one point it kind of diverges really hard from the game. I just don't know if I'm being honest. I don't know if I'm like invested enough in that story to watch it. But if I get enough recommendations for it, I might be swayed the other way. There's also a lot of them. I wouldn't know where to start, and I don't think they're. If I remember correctly, they're not like named in a way that lends to what order you should watch them in. Let me just look. Yeah, so there's from what I'm seeing, there's like multiple parts to Danganronpa 3. Those are in Japanese, so maybe the English names mean something that would help. I just played Ultra Despair Girls and watched Danganronpa 3. Yeah, that's also the thing is like if they are incredibly different, then maybe I'll give it a chance. But if it's just the game but anime, I don't really know if I would be interested in that. The season 1, it's just the game, just a bit different. Okay, I'll have to give it a try. Yeah, so there's the. Okay, I see. So it's split up into different arcs. There's a despair arc, the future arc, and the hope arc. Okay, I could probably take it from there, figure that out. Right, what am I doing here? I don't know why, but this hair is really giving me a hard time. I think that's a little bit better. I gotta stop getting so hung up on the get it right the first time idea, because again, like I can always just go back and change this. I think it's better to just get something on the canvas first than to worry about getting it right the first time. Okay, in terms of, I might be getting her ponytails a little too long. In terms of like ratio to the rest of the body, they don't go like super low. I have to bring these up a little bit. Yes, vectors can be very powerful. You just have to be careful because, at least in the software that I've played around with, they can be a little unstable. So you save often, and that's kind of just the rule of thumb for anything digital. Save often. You never know. I do enjoy that Blender has some very robust auto-saving capabilities. I've had many projects saved from autosaves that wouldn't have come about in any other software. So it can be very, very helpful. All right, according to my little OBS readout, I've been streaming for about half an hour now. Now, if you don't already know, over the summer last year, my channel had gotten monetized. So in the YouTube Live dashboard, I actually have a little button now that says Insert Ad. I tested it out a little bit before anyone was in the stream. So I think it just like auto serves an ad for you guys. I don't want to press it just yet. I just kind of wanted to gauge sentiments in the chat. So if I press the button that gives you guys an ad, how do you feel about that? Let me know in the chat. I'm not going to do it right now this second. Okay, I've got one for go ahead. That's good. I just kind of want to use it more as a metric. I doubt that overall this stream is really going to make much, if anything. It's more to just see what the metrics are for this amount of people, this amount of time. Looks like sentiments are good. Really appreciate you guys going along with this. So I'm going to hit the button, and hopefully I should see you guys back in 5 to 15 seconds. I've watched live streams before, and I've gotten served ads. I had no idea that it was actually like something that the streamer could consciously choose. You didn't see anything because you're a premium user. Yeah, I know how that goes. Premium's pretty sweet. It's expensive as hell, but man, is it useful. You didn't see an ad? Okay, it might not come up for everyone. I know that sometimes it like when a video is long enough to have ads run on it, it doesn't always run every time. I do have like a private browser with the stream open just to make sure I can monitor it, and an ad did pop up there, so it might just be every once in a while, and it might also affect the VOD as well. If people watch this back as a video on demand, that might be where an ad gets placed. I'm just not too sure, and you know what? I guess that's why we experiment. Oh, and it looks like we did actually get an answer to a viewer, so must be like a 1 in 10 chance or so. At least that's what it appears to me. Okay, I think that's about as far as I'll take the head for now. It's time to move on to the more challenging aspect of this. Let's just jump into it. I'm gonna make the reference a little bit smaller so I can fit more of it on the screen. Okay, let me just think. Do I have any character that's similar to this in terms of design? I don't really. I think like the jacket people, like Chiaki and Nagito, might be closest. So I think with those, I did it like inside to out. So I started with the undershirt. Well, I started with the skin, and then I started with the undershirt, and then I drew the jacket on top of that. So I think I'll go ahead with that. But first thing I forgot is I usually do the hands. Let me just bring this down to up again, and I'll line up the hands. Here. All right, so now let's just do a rough little sketch, and then I can draw her jacket above it. Now, most of my characters, I believe, I don't really draw a neck. Sure. I do have on some of them, it looks like, actually. I think since it's a pretty noticeable part of this design, especially with how exposed the top of her chest is, I think I'll give her a more well-defined neck. Might have to adjust some positioning here. Okay, sorry, I'm a little quiet in this little stretch. I'm concentrating pretty hard. Been like I mentioned, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. Maybe I should take more of a what's her name, Kyoko approach. Although the sleeves don't really go down as low. Oh, her dress has fringe on it. I think, you know what, I'll just take kind of like the cheeky way this and just kind of make it like a big. What PPI do you use? I don't know if there's exactly a one-to-one translation with Blender. I have my canvas set to, or I have my camera set to 1920 by 1080, just because that's the resolution I render at usually. The radius of my brush is set to 20 pixels with no line variance based on pen pressure. So it's always going to be 20 pixels no matter how hard I press on the canvas. Hopefully that answers your question. I unfortunately don't have like a one-to-one with how Photoshop or Krita or whatever would use it. Oops. Oops. Oh no. Things are freaking out. Okay, there we go. I feel like I made her torso a little too tall. Mess around with this a bit. Are these not circles anymore? I think I might have stretched them by accident. Yeah. Whoops. Not really. I've never gotten an answer on that from anyone, but the PPI makes a huge difference. I use 12 pixel width with pressure of 300 PPI, and it gets hard pixel edges Say HD photos view 72. Well, whenever I use like Redraw or Photoshop, I usually set mine to 100. But I typically work in pixel dimensions as opposed to inches. So it's not really a metric that I ever worry about. Nicole says, I'm new to YouTube, found last year, but Dan and Aaron watch your videos, really like your art style. I wish. I know for a fact that Dan has at least seen some of the early daily stuff. Aside from that, I don't really know much. Our relationship is very one-sided, and I don't mean that in an unappreciative way. It's more just I've put stuff out there, haven't gotten much of a reply. You're not going to draw the brushes on her waist, right? Well, I was planning on it. I'm still trying to get the proportions to my liking, so I'm gonna draw her legs first, and then I'll start jumping in on that detail there. I don't know why I drew the bow, but I'm still trying to figure out just like the overall silhouette. Never heard of someone being new to YouTube. I feel like most of us were pretty much raised by it. I mean, that you have to keep in mind that different strokes for different folks. I can understand the idea of coming at it new, whether they're someone who's very young and this is maybe their first time on the internet, or maybe it's someone who is not as young and just hasn't really ventured much into this sphere. Either way, welcome. I'm glad that I'm one of your first stops on your journey. That's very flattering. I wasn't going to worry about it when I started. I have noticed that people use the same brushes, but the lines look better. The only difference I've noticed is how it makes blocking lines. So it can. Your pixel density can have an effect on that. But if I can makes my brush tiny. The thing is with Blender, which is what I'm using right now, it doesn't really deal with pixels at all. I talked about this a little bit before, but I'm actually working with vectors, so again, it's not really a one-to-one. What I mean is I never heard of this YouTube channel. Forgot to add. That's okay. Misunderstanding on all our parts. No big deal. But again, very glad to have you. I'm very glad that you're enjoying the content. Daniel F asks, question, soil, yes or no? I can take it or leave it. I mean, what's so great about it? Is that the answer that you were hoping for? Very good. Happy to oblige. What about you? What's your answer? You like it? I mean, that's a pretty hot take if you ask me, but I'm not going to judge you. I'll stick to 300 for now. I'm going to go for mostly just doing work. That's fair. Something to keep in mind with thumbnails, especially for YouTube, is they can't, like, the final exported image can't really be that big anyways. So I wouldn't stress about it too much especially when in thumbnail view, it's not really noticeable. But whatever works for you, that's the best way to do things. Whoops. Okay, how do I want to approach this? How do I want to approach this? Does Blender have 2D rig slash puppet animation? To my knowledge, yes. Have I figured it out for myself? Not really. But there is a guy. Let me see if I can find him. There is a guy that does amazing grease pencil work. And they seem to have. Yes. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but it's Dedouze. Dedows. Just from the clips that I've seen on YouTube and on Twitter, phenomenal stuff. Like some of the most stylish and pretty stuff I've ever seen come out of Blender. I believe they've had some official work on like the Blender splash screen, so you know that they're legit. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff. In terms of traditional puppet animation, I don't think it does as well as some of the other more well-established softwares, but you know, Blender's kind of an all-arounder. It kind of does a bit of everything. It's still not like super feeling what I've got so far. Oh, I know them. They came to my city for an animation event to do a conference. Yeah, I'm sure they're very prolific in the space. Very exciting. Well, I think I'll stick with this. Draw the jacket on top and see how I feel after that. How was switching from Maya to Blender? At first, there were some growing pains. Obviously, going from one software to another has its own its own list of complications. But Blender is pretty well known for its giant laundry list of shortcuts that you have to learn in order to use. But I put on the Blender Guru Donut tutorial, and once I had finished that, I pretty much had everything I needed to learn and experiment on my own. And it's I at first I think I was pretty nervous about it, but now I can't even imagine going back to Maya. Like I don't remember really anything about it at this point. Okay, so I know this looks like pretty messy already, like pretty hard to read and hard to look at so far. But my process for doing this is I'll do like a really sketchy rough where everything is kind of like layered on top of each other, and then I'll go back and I'll do a more like I'll cut out all the stuff that should be occluded. So you can see the difference here. This is the rough. I can't even draw because of the stabilizing. This is the rough up here. This one here. So this is what I start with, and then I come down here, and it becomes this over time. I did used to work in Maya. I learned it for school. Uh, they kind of explained it to us that it was more of the industry standard, and while 3ds Max was what I first learned 3D on, we eventually transitioned to Maya. I believe, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the boat that is in my YouTube banner, um, the boat. Oh no, it's no longer my YouTube banner. That's fine. We had a project where we had to make a Viking ship, um, and I'm pretty sure I made that in Maya. Something very interesting about Maya, that it's not quite the same in Blender, but it does still have a similar purpose. When you hold the space bar, I believe, it brought up like a whole bunch of like very quick menu options. I thought that was freaking rad, just to be able to like quickly access everything from your cursor at any given moment. But what's cool about Blender is if I hit space, because of the way I have it set up, I can actually just search for whatever I want. So if I want to like subdivide, well, I can't in this mode, but if I'm in edit mode here and I have something selected, if I want to subdivide, right, I don't even have to remember a keystroke. I can just search it and it's right there. It's kind of coming out more like a lab coat, like an open lab coat. Uh, Man, I was, I was, if I'm, I was expecting like maybe I could get like 2 or 3 characters done in the couple hours I can stream, but I, I, I'm gonna be lucky if I can finish one. Oh my goodness, I'm really, really rusty. When was the last Danganronpa upload? I think it was June of last year. Yeah. So I guess that kind of explains it. All right, I've been streaming for about an hour so far. I'm going to quickly plug some of my stuff. I'm gonna go grab a drink of water. I'll play another ad, and then I'll jump back into it. But thank you for watching so far. I'm having super fun, even though I'm really coming to terms with how much work I still have to do. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. All Aaron G is me. You can follow me here on YouTube, hit subscribe, check out some of my other stuff. I actually just uploaded a compilation of my favorite work from last year. You should go and check that out. Some of my best work on there. I'm going to play another ad, and I'm going to go grab a drink of water. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I appreciate the encouragement, Danny. Hopefully it is how you say it is, that it will look better when I finish. But that's typically how this kind of stuff goes. I think that's kind of my biggest problem. I mentioned it in the sculpt time lapse video that I posted a little bit ago. But like when I first started getting into art, like not even game design or 3D animation or anything like that, but just like when I first started learning how to be creative, I would always it didn't take much to make me give up. Like I would draw something that was kind of like less than satisfactory, and I just thought like, this is kind of hopeless. Like I shouldn't even be attempting this. And I think the best thing that I learned was that your work in progress isn't going to look like the final product because it's not supposed to. So it's a simple but effective lesson that I needed to learn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like kind of ignore these little things that are on her sleeves just because I don't really know what they are, and they're going to be kind of irritating to me. So I think I'll start moving on to some of the smaller details. I don't believe I've drawn. Well, I drew a collarbone on Nekomaru, but I don't think I've. And I did on Akane. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and draw in her collarbone as well, since I did it on those other characters. Here, I believe. It is going to be obscured a lot of the time anyway, just because the hair and the necklace, but Gotta adhere to the style. So how was everyone's New Year's? I feel like there's a lot of dead air in this, and I should probably try and fill it. Ours was pretty chill. Just hung out with the family a bit, had a few drinks, did some karaoke, some very chill stuff. That's good to hear. We used to have kind of like a smaller tradition where we would go ice skating in the park. They used to have free hot chocolate. Obviously, didn't really do that much in the last couple of years, but since things have started opening up, we haven't really done that again. Can't say I'm really super disappointed though, because it's cold up in here, up in these parts. We've had some pretty chilly days. Not like the coldest it's ever been, but it's often just like the losing heat through my window is like enough to make sleep pretty hard. Although a lot of times my apartment can get pretty warm, so I guess I don't have much to complain about. We had some crazy fog. We've been having some really weird weather, but we had a couple mornings ago. There was just like so much fog I couldn't see the building next to mine. It was pretty scary. It's like something out of a horror game. Welcome to the stream, Mindlessness Games. Yes, we are in fact drawing that region. I think I've left enough space for her midriff here. When I go through to color things in, I'll change the color of these little dots here, just like I do with Ibuki. Can't really see it, but or no, I guess. Do I? No, I can't even remember. Are her the piercings? Oh, I'm lost. I've lost. Oh no! Oh no! I'm lost in the canvas. Wait. Ah! I gotta get back. There we go. Okay. I don't think her lip piercings are a different color. No. Okay, but I can just go back. I did break it. Yes. Feels like nothing has changed much. I hope change of perspective. Mornings are really cold just in the mornings. New year, but the same crappy weather. Have I played Danganronpa V3? No, I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I did not personally play V3. I watched a friend play it, and I don't really remember much of anything from it. Even while they were playing, I would forget the characters' names. I don't know what is wrong with me, but for the life of me, I just can't remember who any of these people are. But like I mentioned before, even though I know what major things happen in the story, I'm going to attempt to keep this spoiler free to the best of my abilities, just like with the second game. Is Angie the only one you've done so far? Yes. Unfortunately, in the over hour that I've been streaming so far, I've only gotten this far with Angie. It is it's very good that I'm doing this now as opposed to on the day that I would actually need to, because even though I've kind of strayed from doing same day animations as of late, it's this is taking a while. So if I had to do like 2 or 3 of these and animate it at the same time, like it would take me a long time. It used to for the second one, until I had every character, until I had collected them all, as it were. And then it started kind of going a lot smoother, especially when I started figuring out that I could just use some of my 3D sets. That's the thing. And I don't want to kind of peek behind the curtain and tell you how the sausage gets made or anything like that, like ruin the fun of it. I still get like a lot of comments praising me for combining hand-drawn and 3D assets. It's more out of laziness because it's so much easier to just like drop the grease pencil into the 3D scene that I've already made. I do put a lot of effort into making it look as good as I can within a day, or at least I did. But yeah, it was mostly out of laziness. Like I made that courtroom set just so that I wouldn't have to redraw it every time, and it's again, it's all in the name of efficiency. I think I'm gonna move the ribbon a little bit lower, just so it's more in view. I mean, you say she's a very complex character, but we do still have, I'm looking at the list now. We've got, like Kareki still to do. He's pretty complex. We've got Kibo. Kibo's going to be pretty interesting to deal with. Yeah, it's not as bad as I remember. Ibuki specifically took so long to animate. That's why she's only in like 3 or 4 animations overall, just because like there's so much to her design that just like even moving her arms, like you have to redraw the hair, you have to redraw the outfit, you have to redraw the skirt. So it's just like because there's like so much detail there, it took so much longer than someone like Hajime, who I used so frequently, not just because he was the main character, but because like it's so simple. You don't have to worry about the hair in the back. The shirt is literally just a plain shirt. So, I think, is there really, aside from like little nitpicks and stuff, like is there anything I'm missing here? She's got a bracelet on the one arm. Okay, well, I think I might just make a duplicate of this and go ahead and try and clean up the design a little bit and see how I feel. I can always make changes afterwards again, but let's see how I did with this. This is always the most tedious part. It's been so long since I looked at these characters. You and me both, man. Like making that compilation was a real fun treat for me because it had been a long time since I'd even seen some of my stuff, and it wasn't so much like oh, I forgot I made this. It's more like it's like I haven't thought about this in a long time, and so it was a really cool experience to go back and look at it. I did used to do more frequent compilations, but they never really did super well, so I kind of just dropped it because it was effort that didn't really need to be more damn I made cool stuff. Yeah, that's pretty close. I just joined. Who do you have so far? Well, welcome, Microphoning. You're looking at it. All I've done so far is this rough design for Angie. I'm just cleaning it up a little bit right now to see how I feel. But it's been pretty slow going so far. Although, to be fair, this is the first character that I've drawn in like 7-8 months. So, you know, not super bad for all things considered. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. I probably am only going to do maybe one more character after this, depending on how long it takes. I think it's 3:18 Eastern Standard Time for me right now, so I think I'll take this maybe to 4:30, 5 o'clock. We'll see. But I'm having a blast. How are you guys feeling? The music is soothing. Yeah, I like this track a lot. This is one of the YouTube royalty-free tracks that's available. It's called Drifting at 432 Hertz. I like it because it's soothing, but it's also like 20 minutes long. Do you wish to animate for Grub's other channel? I mean, yeah, it's something I've wanted for almost as long as I've been a fan of the channel. I knew that I would love to make content for them one day. Doesn't seem to be in the cards at the moment, but you know, no one knows the future. A very chill time. I'm really enjoying listening while I'm drawing. Yeah, it's I like to do the same thing. One of the biggest reasons that I actually haven't streamed in a long time. I think the last stream was also a Danganronpa stream, but the last stream I did was maybe like 9 months ago. It's just I like to watch stuff while I draw, while I do art. So it's you know, it's not something that's like entirely feasible on YouTube. I'm not too sure about Twitch, because their rules are a little bit different with copyrighted content, I think, but it's not really something I've looked into. And you know, like I don't know how enjoyable that would be if I've got anime on the other screen and I'm drawing and you guys can only see the drawing. So who knows? I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's actually a siren going by. There's a fire truck. Hopefully you didn't hear that, but who knows? I actually have, this isn't just the raw input from my mic. It's actually running through NVIDIA Broadcast to do noise reduction. I have my air conditioning running at the same time as well. And I use that to make sure that you can't hear it. Because like I mentioned, even though it's pretty chilly up here in old Canada, my apartment can get very, very warm very quickly, especially with my computer running right next to me. No, I was staring at the YouTube analytics. I got totally distracted. I will get back to my work. Yeah, you know what? That I just had a great idea. Talking about like that I like to watch stuff while I draw. I watch stuff or listen to music while I draw. I don't engage much from chat, so I try to talk a lot with desktop muted. Yeah, it's not for everyone, but I find it enjoyable to like have people looking at my work while I work on stuff. I'm not really sure why. I don't know the psychology behind that, but it is something that I enjoy. But what kind of stuff am I watching? That's what I was going to talk about. I just finished rewatching Dr. Stone. I had started watching Dr. Stone when that first began airing, and I loved it. I loved the hell out of it. It's a great series. And I just finished up. There's the second season, and then there was a special. And I watched that, and I just wanted more. So I started reading the manga. I'm not all the way caught up, but it goes to some pretty crazy places. So I'm enjoying that a lot. But that's not really why I can't do that while I draw. I can't read manga. One of the other ones that I'm caught up in is Spy Family. Love that series. It's just so like it's pretty predictable, pretty by the books, but it's just so enjoyable, so fun to watch. It's a great series. I'm watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with my nieces. That's a very fun experience because it's something that they are not really familiar with in any regard. So it's fun to watch their reactions and see how they like the series. That's enjoyable. But I've been watching JoJo's for years. I should probably look at the chat. I'm too busy talking about myself. Sometimes I just sit in silence while I do abstract stuff. I probably look crazy doing it. Yeah, if that works for you. I'm trying to get co-host to me while I draw. I mean, like, just even hopping into a Discord call with like a friend is just pretty cool to do. I really want to see Dr. Stone. Last year I got into anime, watched Bleach and JoJo. Yep, all great options. I haven't watched Bleach myself, but I've heard great things. My wife and I are watching Spy Family. We love it. Yep, great series. I'm sure, especially to watch with someone that you can relate to in that kind of way. Watched it a little bit with my nieces as well, and they love it. It's probably because you're the one drawing, but how are you able to comprehend what exactly you're drawing and what to erase? I would go crazy if I drew one layer at a time. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head that it is me that's drawing, so I can like kind of remember, what strokes are part of what object. It is pretty helpful again to because of the way that vector works. Like I can actually see what vertexes are part of what object. So like I can, in isolation, this vertex might be hard to decipher where it goes to, but because I can look at the whole object, I know like that's part of the hand. That could also be a big help with it. But it's also, I'm pretty used to it. I did this specific thing for not only every design, but also like in every animation that I do, I essentially do this hundreds of times. Need to finish watching Haiku too. Yeah, I hear great things about that. Anime recommendations, I love it. Love hearing it. Have you watched Bocchi the Rock? I haven't. I will get served clips and fan art of it on Twitter. It looks interesting from what I hear. I don't know much about it. From what it sounds like, it's just kind of like an idol show, but like more comedic. And I love comedy. I like that kind of stuff. So definitely sounds like something I'd be interested in. I just have to check it out. Is sketching layers over each other, but I use different colors. Yeah, that's also a valid approach to things. You can turn. It's not really going to be helpful for me now, but you can like turn down the opacity of different layers and stuff. So that might also be a useful tool. Oh, I forgot to finish this part. It's great. Looks basic, but there's lots of really funny gags. You can tell the animators had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I like that kind of thing. A show with very clear style and lots of humor, and people that actually look like they enjoy working on it. Um, yeah, definitely have to check it out. It's a great recommendation. Yeah, from what I've seen, it's kind of similar. Like in my head, it's kind of similar to that other show. I forget what it's called, but it's like the one that really kind of plays around with animation styles and stuff like that. Like it's a Nichijou. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think that's what I'm talking about. Looks hilarious. Looks very fun. Just never got around to watching it, but I have a feeling that it's similar to that. Oh yeah, I wasn't looking at chat, but yeah, Nichijou or Nichijou. I'm not sure. If you can't tell, I can't speak Japanese. I'm really excited for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Read the manga and fell in love with the story. They restart anime projects because they skip some arcs to come out this year. I know of that series. I really don't know anything about it besides like the brief synopsis that I read. Seems interesting. They're going to have the characters be a bit more accurate in height than DR2. For example, Mikon was a bit taller, same height as Hajime, but Mikon is 5'4 and Hajime is 5'8. Although I do understand that it's simpler for the characters to be around the height because, besides some outliers, honestly didn't really give it much thought. I can attempt to do it. It's going to take a lot more coordination, but you know what? I'm going to go to the wiki and I'm going to look up heights right now just to get a clear idea of how I should be approaching this. But it's not something that I necessarily disagreed or like don't want to do. It's just something that I never really thought about. But it's a great suggestion. Hope it gets another season. Are we talking about Toilet Bound? Sorry, it can get a little hard to follow threads of thought. Also, I'm still getting distracted. I should get back to cleaning this up so we can look at the finished product and know how to proceed. I would love to do some more Minecraft streams at some point. I have some ideas. I would love to do like a hardcore amplified world. I actually have a hardcore world that I've been maintaining for a while, making some pretty cool progress on that. Maybe I could do like a little tour one day. And I have another cool idea for Minecraft that I don't even want to share right now because it's so cool and so early in development. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. That's okay, Microphony. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Oh, I didn't know you can retract messages. That's pretty cool. Interesting. I would love to do another Smash Bros. Stream in the future. The last one that I did got dinged for copyrighted music, but I think if I can just turn down the music volume in game and just like have other music playing, that would be pretty cool. And I would love to just like have an arena open up and just do what I did last time and let viewers come on and beat my ass because I am not amazing at it. Okay. How do we feel? How do we feel about this? Ad is broken. Says an ad is playing and return of the video, but it never played the ad. Try refreshing the page. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Try refreshing page. We haven't really done much. I don't know how long the ad has been broken. I haven't actually hit it since that hour mark, so it's been half an hour since I last hit the ad button, so I'm not quite sure why that would be. Again, still, I'm very new to streaming with monetization, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think she looks good so far. Her eyes are a bit uneven. They are uneven. I tend to go for kind of a perspective, although now that I'm looking, it's not really as drastic as I went for. So yeah, I'll give that a little tweak. I might actually bring them down a little bit lower, even though they're like pretty up to the hairline. Actually, I might bring the hairline down a little bit lower too. Now here's the tricky thing. Is there's an overlap on her left shoulder. There's an overlap in line art on her left shoulder, her left side hair, and back hair. Oh, I see what you're saying. So I had a very, very hard time reading that for some reason. I don't know why I saw shoulder. That's very bizarre. But good catch. Thank you for catching that. There's also this, although it's not really super noticeable. I'll just do it because I'm a weirdo like that. Now the tricky thing is with having designs like this already is I have to like try and make sure there's parity between this and the rough, because if I ever end up using the rough again, then it has to kind of match. Whoopsie! It has to kind of match the look of it. So let me just I don't know if I've changed the eye. I did change the eye. Okay. Need do some undoing. Okay. Clean this up again. Sorry, I'm a little thrown for a loop right now. I'm just trying to collect myself again. Okay. Have the eye. The eye. Up. Grab this, we'll stretch it out by point. Same here. Is this the most efficient it can be? Probably not, but not really worrying about that too much right now in this stage. I think I'm gonna bring her eye, just nudge it a little bit over. And then bring both of them down a little bit. And let's bring it down a little bit. Maybe just this part, not the big ones. Was this in the same? It was. Okay. All right. I think, now that I'm looking at it, I think her face is too big. I think I made her face too big. Let me just give this a quick little try. Okay. Well, this is a good side by side. New face, old face. What are we thinking? How do we feel about this? Let me zoom out so you can see the reference. I think I agree, Microphony. I think I will stick with the new face. So what I like to do, if I ever have like a change that's drastic like this, I'll actually I'll take everything that I've changed, and I'll grab a feature that I didn't change. So in this case, I'll grab pretty much the whole face here, and I believe this strand didn't change at all. And I can copy that over. Whoops, I can copy that over, but line it up with the one thing that I didn't change. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exact, just close enough. Okay, and now that I've done that, I can move it, let's say by 2. Okay, so now that's out of the way, and I pretty much just have to go in and delete the stuff that doesn't need to be there. So I can get rid of those. Do this. This one, delete this one. And then just by moving this by -2, back to where it originally was, now it's the new face on the original sketch. There we go. How do we feel? Should I color this in, or do you think I should move on to a design for another character? I think I'm gonna color this in, just so we can get like the completed look of the character. Just gonna do some last minute housekeeping and stuff. I think the sleeves are too long, you say. Okay, I can work with this. Let me just take here. So they originally go up a little bit, maybe about 2 or 3 inches above her wrist. Let's go about here, maybe. Same on this side. How do you feel about that? I'll move it over just so you can see it. And we gotta grab something that doesn't move so I can line it up. And I forgot to grab the arms as well, because those will be different. Okay. Okay. Good. Right. So that's Angie's design. Just gonna take a drink of water and then I'll start setting up for coloring her in. Okay, so what I like to do is I use these 4 basic colors pretty much for every character. So the line is the line art, the black is for anything that's purely black, so that includes the inside of the mouth for lip sync, as well as stuff like filling in the eyelashes and whatnot. White is for the teeth, red is for the tongue, and then every other color I'll have to fill in and name accordingly. Oh, and thank you, Microphony, for grabbing those heights. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that, so the screen might look a little weird for a second. I'm going to take a screenshot of that just so that I have it on record. There's another siren going on in the background. Here is... Where's my... Nope, that's the wrong one. I have too many folders. There we go. Height. Perfect. So we'll basically... I think I'm not going to concern myself too much with reference to... I'm not going to concern myself with parity with DR2. I think I'm going to say that... what's this character's name? Angie. Again, forgot the name. I'm going to say Angie is my yardstick. So Angie is, according to Microphony, Angie is not on the list. Unless it's a name that is not that name. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't think Angie is on this list. That's fine. I'll bring her up. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. I didn't. It's not your job. You don't have to worry about it. 5-1. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So, Angie will be my yardstick. Basically, if a character is shorter than 5'1", which it doesn't look like anyone is shorter than 5'1", that can't be right. There's the little guy. What's his name? Yoma? How tall is he? 3'5", yeah. Yoma and Himiko are. Okay. So basically, characters that are supposed to be shorter than her will be shorter. Characters that are supposed to be taller than her will be taller. That will be the yardstick. That's all I'm trying to say. I am able to phrase my words better. I just am not at the moment. Okay. Focusing now. I'm going to show you how I do how I color in my characters. I start by I essentially count. I count how many colors I'm going to need, and then I'll make the number of materials for that. So hair is 1, skin is 2, and I'll just kind of go through that. Okay, so it looks like 10. I'm assuming that, I'm assuming that the material that makes up her bra, which I am now seeing is actually 2 different colors, but I'm assuming that this lighter one is the same as this, and her shoes, and I'm assuming that this is the same as this. That's kind of how I approach things. So I'm looking at 10 colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can't count unless I say it out loud. And let's just basically, my naming scheme is character name, what it's used for. So Angie hair. And that's how I approach organizing it. The important thing about this is you do want to make sure that you're naming them, because every single material in Blender shows up in a list here. So if it's not named correctly, you're not finding that material. Oh, for cheeks. I was trying to think what the last material was. And I'll reorganize this so that it's closer to the skin. There we go. Alright, so now I pretty much just go in and color pick. Now I've noticed, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case here, I've noticed that there is a very subtle gradient on all Danganronpa sprites. So I believe the skin tone of her face is going to be lighter than the skin tone of her legs or her arms. So I'm gonna pick like a pretty middle of the road skin tone for her. Would be around this area here. And with the cheeks, again, I'm not going to worry too much about layer effects or anything like that. Pretty much just going to color pick. Gonna color pick, and then swap. Instead of it being a solid line here, I'm going to swap it to this material, and you'll see what that does later on. Clara, that's going to I do like the texture that they give to the cloth objects. You can tell it's like a very simple repeating that I believe Blender has something similar called a magic texture. But it's pretty cool. It's a similar thing to how South Park is rendered. Burlap, yeah, that's a better name for it. Good call. Okay, and now that I've got that, I can pretty much just start going and filling in different spots. But again, before I do that, I'm just going to make sure that I have things organized the way I would like it. So I'll go to my layers here, and I'll grab the rough, and I like to put it actually underneath. So let me just line it up again. There, and then down at the bottom. And to address your question, Microphony, I started with Angie because alphabetical order. That's pretty much it. No attachment necessarily to the character. Just started with the first character on my list here. And I can tackle pretty much any character that you guys want after that. Take the cleaned up version, and I'll get rid of that, and I'll pop it right here in the lines layer. I like to layer things like this because it keeps it nice and organized and helps it be more efficient. And actually, something that I find very, very necessary. I didn't do this at first, but I'll actually take the mouth and I'll put it on its own layer here called mouth position. And I actually use that while I'm animating to know where to put the lips for lip sync. So like, I'll position the head and stuff, and I can rotate it even though it's on a separate layer. And then after that, all I have to do is draw in the lip sync where it's supposed to be, and then I can actually just turn off that layer without having to worry about going in frame by frame and getting rid of the mouth that's there. So that's my approach to lip sync for this. Just now realizing that I forgot to grab something for the hair ties here. I think I'll just make it the same white cloth material. It's a little hard to tell them apart on my screen, but I'll just leave it the way it is right now. Okay, now like I mentioned before, what I do with the cheeks is instead of filling with the bucket tool like I was just doing, I'll actually take the lines that I drew for the cheeks and I'll just change the material. And so now you can see that it changed it to the oval shape, but the black lines are no longer there. Okay, now the sclera can be a little annoying because with the way that Danganronpa characters are designed, there actually isn't a line defining them. So I pretty much just have to go in and draw it by hand. I could take a shortcut by having a line at first and then getting rid of it when I finish, but I find this to be a little bit more effective, especially because if I were to take that approach, then I would have to be going frame by frame, deleting it, because it's not supposed to be there in the final product. So I find this to be, it's a little tedious, but it is ultimately a better option. And the reason that the cheeks are kind of peeking up here is because they are on the wrong layer. So if I put them down here and I make sure that these are set back to lines here, I'll just get rid of them for now so I can make a point. Now you see it's appearing underneath the line like it's supposed to. But again, because this is supposed to be like oh my god, what's the word? Like a standardized thing that I'm going to use in the future. I am going to actually leave the black lines here, just like I do with Teruteru and Fuyuhiko, just because in the future it'll help with animating. Make sure you're on the right layer. That's always a good step. Although, actually, this is a great time to demonstrate that even if you are on the wrong layer, it's not a big deal because again, the wonders of vector. I forget the hotkey for it. Oh, it's M. You can actually just move it to the correct layer, or at least you're supposed to be able to. I think I just moved the line by accident. M to fills. There we go. Yeah. So you can actually just like pop it underneath. Even if you did it on the same layer as the line art, doesn't matter because vectors have their advantages. Oh, did it again. Oh man. I should really practice what I preach. Okay, I think that's out. I think that's about it. Let me. Oh, I forgot to do the necklace. I think that's about it for Angie. What do you guys think in terms of accuracy to the character, as well as in terms of accuracy to my art style for this? What are your guys' thoughts of this first character? Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are liking it. I'm liking it too. I'm feeling a lot better about it now that it's finished. Again, going back to that idea of the work in progress isn't necessarily going to look great because it's not supposed to. Yeah, feeling good about this. Feeling good. So, my pen is freaking out a little bit. It's fine. Hello there, Maxis Real. Welcome to the stream. I am 2 hours into the stream so far. We finally finished the first character that we started working on, Angie. Angie's looking great. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to hit the play ad button again. And then after that, we will start working on the second character of the day. I think that might be it for the day, but we'll see. The program is Blender. I'm working in Blender right now. Oisin. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit that add button, and you guys should comment what character I should work on next. Okay, we've got a vote for Kibo, which I do have on my list here. I'd be down to try Kibo if everyone else is interested. You don't know the third game? That's quite all right. This is going to be very beginner friendly. We have a vote for Shuichi. It's also a great option. He'll be pretty simple if memory serves correct. You can look up the task if you can avoid spoilers. I'm not entirely sure what that means. As for what I'm working on in the stream, I do try to avoid spoilers as best I can. That's always been my policy for approaching these kinds of animations. Cast, I see. Kaito. Okay, so we're getting 3 different Kaito. This is kind of what I was worried about, how everyone wants a different character. Okay. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna pull up my list of pictures. Okay, so it looks like we're getting more and more support for Kibo. Yeah, so I think we'll try doing Kibo next. So let me just hit save. We'll get rid of this reference image that we don't need anymore. And Angie is done. We'll put her. We'll put all the Danganronpa 2, all the Danganronpa 3 characters in their own spot so that they're not clashing with the other ones. So we'll put Angie up here. And yeah, let me drag in my Kibo reference image. Waluigi. Unfortunately, we're just sticking to Danganronpa 3 characters. I haven't done any Danganronpa 1 characters as Waluigi is from, but maybe in the future. Okay, so pretty complicated design. Pretty complicated design here, but a lot of it is kind of just like window dressing. Like a lot of the stuff is cool looking, but not entirely functional. Oh no, and then I got 5 Monokumas to make. That is true. That is true. I'm kind of not a huge fan of really any of them. But to make things a little bit easier, a lot of them are just kind of color swaps, so that's fine. Should be fine. How about Squidward? When is it for his time to shine? I think in the sequel. I'm pretty sure he's in Danganronpa 4, if I'm correct. I might be wrong with that, though. Man, I wonder if there's like, I mean, there must be, but like a Rivals of Ether, like style modding community around Danganronpa, where it's just you can just like put in anything, put in any character. I drew Kibo pretty accurately once. I did that. I mean, sometimes it just kind of springs out like that. Forgot about the Monokumas. Yeah, I kind of had a taste for it in. Actually, you know what? Hold on a sec. There was one animation that I did a while back. It was a Danganronpa one. Yeah, this one. So this one, I actually like kind of experimented with different colored Monokumas. I think that's like kind of how I'll approach the Monokubs, or whatever their name is in if I go ahead with that. You could look up Kibo's pixel art sprite and go from there. I probably will, just to see like where priority should be, like what details are kept and what details are scrapped. Pixel. Okay, I mean it's like essentially just like an upper part, a belt, a lower part, and his arms. But like it's about what I expected. You like the Monami? Yeah, Monami was pretty useful in a lot of stuff. I never got to do Usami, which is like whatever. But it's interesting that I did technically miss out on some character designs from Game 2 that I'm not going to play here, but mostly just because of spoilers. Like there are designs that I could do that would be fun, but I just should avoid if I want to keep it spoiler free. Kibo, line art, rough, and let's go back to solid view. And I think let's just get started on Kibo. In terms of size, let me bring up the size sheet that I was so very helpfully provided with. So Kibo is 5'3", making him a little bit taller than Angie. Take that into account. I'm not going to do like pixel perfect 2-inch difference or anything like that. I'll just make him slightly taller. That should be good. And let's just get started. I think this one's going to be a little bit more fun, but it's still going to be complicated as all hell. Okay, so his eyes are pretty interesting, actually. Got kind of the Frieza thing going on with his jaw, his cheek lines. Have you checked Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls characters? I've seen gameplay of Ultra Despair Girls. I know the story. The main character is actually I don't think I remember anything about her design, but I know that there's a returning character. If that's very cool to be able to see in 3D in that art style. But in terms of the antagonists, I like just looking back, I don't really like any of their designs, if I'm remembering correctly. Sort of similar to Spinell's, I think. Spinell. That's Steven Universe, right? Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Sorry, I'm the number one against that other character fan. Yeah. I think it might just be easier if I draw the circle first and then just occlude it. At least coloring his eyes will be easier. That is true. They do have a closed off design, which I appreciate. Now the question is, do I add in his pupil and this little ring? Because I didn't with the... I don't do it with the other characters, but he is a robot, so he is a little bit different. I think I will. At least the inner one, that extra circle. Because I think it's a different color as well. Like it's two different colors. I think they're a little too wide. I'm just going to squish them a little bit. And he's got kind of like the inverse of Angie, where she's got like the little cat mouth. His is like upside down. So I gotta do like something like that. I think when my friend was playing this game, I called him Genos more than once for pretty obvious reasons. You can't really see his ears. Are they normal ears? I have to try and like find. No, they're not. They're like little. They're like little Frieza things. They're headphones. I see. Okay, yeah, I can work with that. Okay, there's something kind of like bugging me about the face, but I think when I draw the hair, it'll kind of click a little bit more for me, which looks like it's going to be very, very fun to do. And I mean that almost entirely sincerely. Looks like a really interesting hairstyle to try and replicate. Face too high, like last one. Again, I guess we'll see when I complete more of it. I think his eyes seem a little too far apart, but he has hair that goes between his eyes, so it's good. Yeah, I think I agree with you on that point. I'll kind of try and tackle both at the same time. Just move it down in a little bit more. How would you go about making Danganronpa 3 environments, considering they are way more detailed than the previous game, like the class trial? Uh, Quality over quantity, class trial, the full game. I can't actually remember what it looks like. Let me just Danganronpa 3 court. I mean, it's like a little crazy. It's not like entirely alien to me though. Like I can see how the stained glass is just a Voronoi texture, and the walls are just like kind of futuristic industrial paneling and stuff like that. The mural of a CG Sayaka's idol group, if I recall correctly. I don't see that, but it just could be the screenshot that I'm looking at. I mean, it's like a little bit more detailed, but I don't think it's like beyond my capabilities to do. I might model it in another stream. I might model it day of. Who knows? But it's a good call out. Very blurry, but the colors match. Okay, I see what you're saying. can find a clear image of the trial room, so I don't know. That's fine. I might have to like go through gameplay videos or something to find reference, but it's not something I'm really worrying about right now this second. I appreciate the hustle though. Yeah, I think I'm liking that a bit better. Move on to the body, and it'll kind of evolve from there. But I think that's a pretty solid start. Now he's got this kind of like robot collar, as it were. And it blocks a bit of his face, but it goes under his hair, above his face. Oh, I forgot his eye streaks, his tear lines. That's how you know he's a robot. His classic robot mascara tears. Yeah, I mean that's what I see. He's got like very very shadowy eyes, and he's got the mascara running down his. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. His body design is supposed to resemble a gakurai. It's a oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. I think it'd be pretty funny if I just kind of made it his whole body was the collar. Thought kind of popped into my head. It's like really, really big. It's very large. Body is cardboard box of silver paint. I would love to go for that aesthetic, but I don't know how well I can even convey that. Like an Osimo design, like that. It's very clearly just a box. That'd be very funny. Okay, I think approaching this with a silhouette to detail approach is probably going to be my saving grace here. He's pretty wide and narrow at the same time somehow. Oh, forgot his hands again. I did the same thing. Okay. Put that put it here for now. I think I might have made the collar just a touch too wide. Let's shrink it a little bit. Do you think the Game Grumps will play Danganronpa 3? I mean, that's my assumption. They played the first two. And I decided to start doing this because I thought it might be good to get ahead of them playing 3. If I can get this done before they play 3, then I'll already have a lot of my work finished ahead of time, and then I can really make an effort to do saved animations again. But who knows? They might not. Very much on the table. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, 3 is definitely the black sheep of the main games. I'm making him so wide. Why am I making him so wide? What is causing me to do this? Uniform is a bit too small for him. His jacket described as bulging as if about to burst due to his robotic underneath. Taken from Kibo's wiki, maybe that's why he chose to draw him wide. I mean, I'm fine that you're justifying it. It's just, I think it's more just like I still don't know what I'm doing. He's got, how are his boots designed? How are his shoes? He's kind of like, I don't. It's kind of hard to like see it. There's like a strap. I think I'll just go with like a normal heeled shoe design. Thanks for the good luck wishes. Thank you so much for stopping by. Glad to have you. And yeah. I don't want to go too detailed because again, like the more lines I draw in, the more stuff I have to fill manually with the paint bucket. especially because it's like all the same color pretty much. You know what? As far as silhouettes go, I don't hate it. It's still a little wide, but I think that's pretty good. I think it's mostly just the upper chest area, and I think that's mostly down to the collar still. I'll leave it for now. I think that's actually pretty good. I think I'll leave it like this for now and start adding in like details. Okay, let's start with his belt. Did you see Shuchiru's new animation? Yes, it was hilarious. I watched it as soon as it came out, and it's been a long time since a Game Grumps animated has made me like audibly laugh, and that was very funny, very funny. He's got like such a way of making the snappiest movements, and just his visual comedy is another level. He's a talented man. And he is, of course, just giving that one horse dating simulator. That's yeah, it was very good stuff. I don't even remember what the audio was from. It must have been from like a long playthrough ago, but yeah, and it's just like the sense of I often get praised for like creating a bit from something entirely unrelated, but like he just like has such a talent for pulling inspiration out of these clips. Very funny stuff. What is this little creature you have sent in the chat? Oh. Oh! Whoa. I didn't even know that YouTube does this. It's like little, like, YouTube-specific emojis. That's interesting. Oh god. Are you gonna start spamming the chat with that? Please do not. If you can avoid it. That's a couple is fine. That's fine. I just know how these things can get. This ninja may take a mile. Yeah, except we use metric up here, so it would probably be something less impressive. Like, give us a centimeter, they give us a kilometer. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Yeah, I'm just kind of like going through and adding pretty unnecessary details to this. Okay, now he's got this like little thing of lights going up his chest. Let's first I'm just gonna whip something up for top of his neck here. I don't think I'm gonna mess around with like bloom or anything for these, but I'll just give them like a simple color. I think the lights are supposed to look like the buttons on a shirt. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that. I don't know how many you mentioned. This style of uniform is called a gakuran. A gakuran. I think it probably has more than 4 buttons. So just take a look here. Oh no, it actually is like 4 or 5 buttons. Wow, shows what I know. The thing on his left is supposed to be pockets. Like this thing here. Yeah, I can see that too. Um, and I feel like it would be more effective if it was like a different color, but I can see what they were trying to go for. I don't know if I left myself enough room for that. We'll just have to see. This is, I can already tell that this is going to be so irritating to animate with. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna be real with you. I totally forgot I was streaming for a second. But I think that's pretty overly detailed and convoluted enough. What do you think? I think I'm pretty much ready to move on to the next stage. I might add in like a little bit of like that, and then turn that green for the detail. I didn't forget. I didn't forget about you. I just forgot that I was live. That's good. Yep. Awesome. Okay, so I think let's do it on this side too, and then take a copy, pop it above, and let's go to clean it up here. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to do too much. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I did draw over a lot of stuff. These parts can get a little quiet just because it's so tedious. I kind of have to like focus on it. When were you first interested in drawing or animation? Well, I went to school for game design, and that's when I started learning 3D. I actually hadn't had any experience of 3D outside of college, but I had known that I wanted to do animation for quite a bit longer than that. My 12th grade drama final, I think it was in 12th grade, was actually an animation. We were supposed to do a short film, and I handed in animation. I remember it took me probably about 3 months to finish, and it's not great. It's still on my channel. I think it's called the Sock Drawer. It's like one of the earliest videos I have on my channel. And like it's not amazing. I would actually love to go back and like remake it now that I'm a way more competent animator. But I think like ever since I was young, I've always had an admiration for animation, and like once I got the tools and was capable of doing it, that's when I started actively participating in this community. Actually, now that I think about it, even before that, 12th grade final, uh, we had a science project. We had to make a Rube Goldberg machine and explain it. And I remember being very proud of the animation that I made for that project, especially because part of the requirement for that assignment was to keep the video under 5 minutes. Mine was the only one that was, because animation is hard. Okay, now that he's cleaned up, it's very noisy, but that's kind of what I was going for. Um, I like it. What do you think? I could maybe add in like some detail in the forearm here. Awesome. All right, I think I'll color it in, and then I'll probably call it for this stream. Two characters is a little bit less than I was expecting to do today, but we still did pretty good work overall. So let me just grab this guy, this little man here. Let's start setting up the other picture. Got two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to say about 10 colors again. It's hard to say because like some of it is like slightly different from others, but I think for the design I'm going, 10 colors will suffice. I'm going to go with the naming scheme of K1B0 just because that's what I did originally, but I'll copy it because it's complicated. Arrow. Kind of funny that you did both of the white-haired characters. Is that it? Is there no other white-haired characters? Oh man, actually that is weird. Huh? Look at that. Purely coincidence. What was this last color going to be? Not quite sure. I'll leave it blank for now, just in case I need an extra color. Oh, he has two. Oh, I forgot his iris. How did I forget? So I'll need a lighter and a darker. So for this one, for the green, I'm going to leave it as stroke instead of fill, just because we're swapping the line color. And if we swap it to fill, it'll do some pretty weird stuff. Yeah, I might kind of like budget on the light a little bit because the way that lights are typically rendered is the brightest part of it is pure white, but I kind of want to go for more of that yellow. I just like manually have a yellow. Oh, that's the other cool thing about vector art. So let's say I'll just move Kibo out of the way now. Let's say I did something wrong with Angie. Let's say I made her hair the wrong color or something, but I've already, finished the entire animation. Well, I'm not going to go back and frame by frame change every framework of hairs in view. So with vectors, you can actually just change the material itself, and every frame that object is on screen, that instance of it also gets changed as well. That's extreme. That saved me on more than one occasion. Very, very useful. Not that I'm saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that raster is worse than vector or vice versa. They both have There are advantages and disadvantages. I enjoy using vector for this purpose. I enjoy using raster for others. Just want to make sure that make that clear. Okay, so for the head, what I like to do is have the entire face be one solid chunk. So I might actually just like go in and draw this instead. So his hair color and his skin color are not like incredibly far apart, and don't know how I feel about that. I might grab a different hair tone, like maybe closer to the top here. Nope, that didn't change anything. I can grab a different skin tone. Nope. Well, he's just gonna kind of look like he's made of vanilla pudding or something. Okay, this is where it gets a little hard to decide stuff because I since I didn't follow it one to one, I don't have like a clear idea of what is supposed to be what color. But I think I can kind of just like budget, just like put whatever wherever. I think I'll leave the darker tone for the undergarment that he wears. And in fact, I think I'll just do that right now. These little bits where that peeks through. And I think I'll also like stray from it a little bit just to give things more of an accent if I need to. Okay. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Uh, what does everyone think? Looks a bit like Mass Effect armor. Looks really good. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think it's pretty over-designed, but I think it looks pretty cool, if I'm being honest. I might have to tweak the hair and or the skin just a little bit to make it look more, to give it more contrast. I'm not really sure why it's coming across as the same tone. Wait. I think the answer might have just presented itself. It's because it is the same tone. Because I'm an idiot. There we go. They were both the same material. Okay, let's try this again. Hair color. Skin color. Okay. They still look very similar. I can tell that they're different though. Let's try and go darkest skin tone, lightest hair color. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Maybe I'll invert it. Maybe I'll do like a darker hair and a lighter skin. I'll have to play around with it. I prefer if the black wasn't as similar to my opinion. I can see the concern. It isn't like a pure black, so at least on my monitor, I can see them apart. Let me try and grab like a lighter of the dark tone and see how you feel about that. What do you think of this step? So before, after. You like the after? Okay, I think it still looks really good, so I think I'll keep it that way. Just don't know what to do with the hair. This is actually kind of bugging me now. Let's go. Okay, I think that's the best I'll get it. Anything from this point on is just going to be like little insignificant tweaks. So I think did I put the mouth in the right spot? I did. All right. I think I'm going to call it for today. Wow, I've been streaming for 3 hours, 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's the longest I've ever streamed. So this was a pretty good warm-up. I'm hoping that now that I'm getting used to it, I'll try and stream a little bit more often, especially because we have done 2 out of 16 Danganronpa characters, so we still have lots more to do. Hopefully I can get the rest of them done in some other streams in the future. I don't have specific dates for when that would be. Just make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for when I stream in the future. I want to thank you all so much for sitting and watching with me, helping me out here. I really appreciate the chat, and I really appreciate you guys chiming in with your little inputs. It's really helped me out getting used to streaming again, and your input has been very helpful in designing these characters. Be sure to follow me on the social media platforms that you see below. There are links in the description, and there's also the banner that's scrolling in the video. I've been Aaron G is me, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.